Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of the SuperChonk Super Audio Show, a name I am increasingly convinced that was a placeholder title that I simply forgot to change, much like how I still have a desktop folder called Folder 7 from 2019 that has now become a permanent part of the family heritage. Today, we are looking at a new earphone from a company called Kefine, a brand that sounds less like an audio manufacturer and more like a generic cleaning product you'll find in a neighborhood provision shop, sandwiched somewhere between Tiger Balm and mothballs. They popped up and released the original Clean back in 2025, which was a bit of a banger. Now we have the Clean SV. The SV probably stands for sweat version, which coincidentally is the version of myself I present to the world the moment I step out for more than 30 seconds in Singapore's humidity. Typical of Kefine, they aren't exactly what you call the creative sort. The box features a digital render, no art, no flair, just a cold, calculated image of the product sitting right in the center, like a single fishball floating in a bowl of clear soup. It's the visual equivalent of a dentist's waiting room, clean, functional, and yet devoid of joy. The back of the box lists the specifications. It's all the usual stuff: frequency response, impedance, sensitivity. It's information that is technically true, but reading it feels as exciting as reading the terms and conditions for a new credit card while waiting in a 40-minute queue for bubble tea. You toss the sleeve aside much like how I toss my diet plans every time somebody mentions the word supper, and you're greeted by a carrying case. Inside you get the cable, the nozzles, and the ear tips. Speaking of tips, you actually get two types here. One set has a slightly larger bore than the other. They aren't branded, so no fancy spin fit or comply foams here, but they are of decent quality. It's like getting that house brand wet wipes at the supermarket. They get the job done, and you don't really feel bad throwing them away either. That's why I lose all these tips. It's a basic experience, but then again, this thing is under $50. What we're really expecting? A handwritten apology for the state of the world we live in right now. The Clean SV is made from using metal injection molding. It feels solid. It feels kind of like an object from the 19th century that you give a 19th century child to play with because it's simply sturdy and very unlikely to be swallowed. You could probably run this over with a car and it probably might damage the tire, but the earphones would very likely be fine. It keeps the 2-pin connection previously seen in the original Clean, allowing you to cable roll, which is the hobby within a hobby where we pretend that a different piece of wire is gonna fill the void in our hearts better than retail therapy on 11/11. The finish is a rougher sandblasting. It's got a texture that I actually really rather like. It feels like satin or perhaps the surface of a very expensive shopping mall floor. Inside is a 10mm dynamic driver with a diamond-like coating. I love dynamic drivers. They sound really natural. They don't try to dazzle you with technical gymnastics or wayang. They just show up and do the job, which is more than I can say for the last 3 group project partners. Sound-wise, the SV is a V-shaped signature. It's got a prominent mid-bass section that makes things fun. Usually when companies flesh out the mid-bass, it ends up sounding muddy, kind of like listening to music underwater in a condo pool. But here it's actually clean. The resolution is way beyond its asking price. You get 3 different nozzles to tune the sound. The silver is balanced, and the stock one, the gold boosts the upper mids for female vocals, and the black nozzle reduces them, making everything sound a bit more muted. It's a heavier, slower sound. It has basically the same energy level as the person who just ate a massive lunch and now is fighting for their lives against a food coma. Mid-range is a treat. It's got weight, it's got texture, instruments are clear, guitars sound articulate. Honestly, for the price of a dinner for 2, assuming you skip the alcohol and dessert, the level of resolution here is bordering on offensive to more expensive brands. To test the bass and vocals properly, I pulled out a track that has a special place in my heart, or rather, a permanent scar on my psyche. Jennifer Wan's The Hunter. Funny story about this track. Back when I was in national service, we had this thing called the National Day Parade, where the whole country gets along and have a big celebration where military comes and march and all that kind of thing. This was in 2010. They were playing this music on repeat in the middle of the night while we were doing setup. Imagine it's 3 AM and you are sweating through your uniform, questioning your life choices. Well, I had no choice. And Jennifer Wan's is just serenading you on a loop. I basically have to have this song engraved in my brain now. It's part of my personal national anthem of sleep deprivation. But on the Klean SV, it sounds fantastic. You might want to listen for that initial bass drop. It hits with authority here, it doesn't bloat, it just punches. And then Jennifer vocals come in, beautifully centered and rich. It almost makes me forgive the trauma of 2010, almost. Compared to the original Klean, the SV is thicker. The original was leaner and more focused on that mid-range we all know. If you only listen to vocals and find joy to be a distraction, then the original is fine. But the SV is more versatile, it has dynamics, and let's be honest, when bass drops, we all want to feel something. Anything, really. Against the Simgot EW200, the darling of the budget world, the SV is a bit fatter in the low end. The Simgot is more energetic. It's like that one colleague who suggests a team bonding hike at 7 AM on a Saturday that no one wants to go. The Klean SV is more relaxed. It's the person who stays at home to order delivery and nap. I prefer the nap person. My enjoyment factor for the Klean SV is an A-. It's a very easy to like IEM. It's fun, it's clear, and it doesn't cost so much that you'll actually have to explain the bank transaction to your significant other. It's the perfect earphone for somebody who is new to the game, someone who hasn't yet realized that they are about to spend the next 10 years chasing a level of sonic perfection that doesn't actually exist. Much like trying to find a parking spot at a crowded mall on a Saturday evening. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the SuperChonk Super Audio Show. I'm going to stand in an air-conditioned room until I regain my will to live. Also, I have my adventure channel right now, so do check that link somewhere down below. It's me going on adventures, totally different vibe from this channel. See you guys soon.